Here at Lakeview Church, we make it our goal to love other people. We love people because God created all people and He loves all people. And so when we work with children or parents or guests, we want to make it perfectly clear that God loves them. In this training, we're going to be talking about some of the things that we say and do as part of the kids team to make it clear that they are loved. God loves them. We love them. They are worthy of love. And we want to show that very clearly in how we look, what we say, and what we do. I used to work in a call center as a customer service representative for an insurance company. And one of the things we learned really quickly is that even when you can't see a customer, even if you're just talking on your headset, they can know a lot about how you feel just by listening to your words. The way that you sound says a lot about what's going on in your heart. And that's true here in church world as well. When we talk to kids, we want to make sure that everything we say is encouraging to them. We want to make sure that we're lifting kids up, that we are affirming who God has made them to be, even when they are misbehaving or when they're doing something they shouldn't. We don't want to yell at kids ever. We don't want to call kids names ever or to speak anything demeaning of kids. We want to be the safe place where any child can come and they will hear that they are worthy of love. Another way that we show kids that they are loved is by creating an environment where they feel safe and welcome. For our older kids, the environment might be fun and vibrant and exciting. There's bounce houses, there's activities to play in the game room. It's loud and very active. There might be music pumping in the background. But with our younger kids, we're going to do the exact opposite because, again, we're thinking about what environment makes that child feel safe. Our younger kids often struggle with separation anxiety. If you're working with our 2s or our 3s, you know what I'm talking about. So in those rooms, we'll actually turn the music down or off completely so that when a child walks into the preschool room or toddler room, it doesn't sound crazy or chaotic. It seems peaceful. It seems like this is a place where they could be safe and they can say goodbye to mom or dad and still have a good time. We'll think about the sounds. We'll think about the smells. If you're in our infant room, this is something to consider, right? If the diaper bag, the diaper pail hasn't been changed out recently, it's gonna smell bad. We don't want parents walking into that environment and smelling. Now, call your coach. Tell them, hey, can we get a change of the garbage in here because we need it to smell better. That's important for every guest, for every parent to walk into a clean, fresh environment. They shouldn't see trash on the floor, Cheerios on the floor. I mean, that doesn't say, hey, this is a place where your child is valued and loved. No, we want to have a clean environment, one that smells clean, one that feels clean. Sometimes our rooms aren't the best at temperature control. Maybe you've been in one of our rooms where it's been super hot. Hey, let our coach know, let our staff know so that we can get a fan in there, so that we can open up some doors. We want our environment to say, God loves you, God cares about you, and you matter. And because you matter, the place that you're in matters very much. Another way that we show children that they are loved is by creating a safe space with rules and boundaries and discipline. Every child is looking for a place where they know that there's a person in charge and that they're going to make sure justice is enforced, and you get to be the face of justice on the kids team. There are some boundaries, though, that we want to make really sure you don't cross as you are administering justice and enforcing discipline. The first is that we never use physical discipline in Lakeview Kids. In other words, I will not slap a child. We will not spank a child. We will not hit a child at all for anything. That is not something that we do at Lakeview. It is a huge liability risk for us, and the potential for physical or emotional harm on a child is very high when those aren't done in a correct manner. So we don't do it at all. The other thing that we don't do is we don't humiliate a child with our words. I'm not going to say, what's wrong with you? Or how could you ever do that? I'm not going to raise my voice. I'm not going to yell at a child. I'm not going to embarrass them. Again, that's a line that is not really effective in discipline to begin with. But B, it shows more about our own emotional state and our own emotional insecurity and our lack of control. It's not really about enforcing discipline. So we don't do that. The third thing that we don't do is we don't do timeouts or isolation techniques. And again, you may have grown up with timeouts or spankings. You may have grown up with a parent who yelled at you. That is not how we do things at Lakeview Kids. The reason that we don't do isolation in general is because a lot of times there is a shame mentality behind that. And while that can be a powerful motivator, we do not believe that that is the best way for a child to grow spiritually. We don't want to operate out of a sense of shame. We want to operate out of a motivation of love for God and for who He is. So if a child is being bad and they're doing bad things and they need to leave the room, I'm going to call a coach. I'm going to say, hey, can you come and help us out? We're having some problems in room 106. Coach comes, and if the child needs to be removed, then the coach will take the child out of the environment with them on a one-on-one trip down the hallway or a trip up to the front, giving that child a chance to de-escalate, re-regulate their emotions, talk it out. Sometimes it's just distracting the child. But by giving that to the coach, it allows you to focus on the general group, but it allows that child to get some one-on-one attention. Again, this is going to be positive attention. It's not going to be shameful. It's not going to be coercive. But sometimes that's all it takes is for somebody to see that child, to know what's going on, to be able to ask them in a quiet space where it's not chaotic, hey, what's going on? Are you feeling all right? You want to just take a walk? Let's go walk out there. Let's go get a drink. Anything to get away from that situation. That's your cue. When instead of sending the child out of the room and saying, go sit in the hallway, you're being bad. No, that's not going to help that situation. So no physical discipline, no shaming a child through our words, and no isolation. Those are three things that we want to remember when we do discipline a child. When a child is misbehaving, what I do want you to use, your coach. Use your coach. Your coach is your lifeline. You do not have to be the behavior management captain of every single child. That's why your coach is there. That's why we as staff are there. Call us. We will come in and help you. It's not saying anything negative about your ability to control a room. Call us. We are there to help that child. Also, we want to be proactive when we have scenarios that we know are going to cause tension. So we're going to try to think ahead about what could cause some misbehavior today. If there's one item that is specially prized and the kids always fight over it every week, well, maybe we need to put that on the shelf and not bring it out so that it doesn't become something that the kids argue over. Or if you have a specific child that you know always gets into arguments with kids, maybe you can be proactive by setting up something with that child in advance, and they come in and you say, hey, do you want to go play trucks with me today? We've got a new teen helper and they love playing trucks. Do you want to go? And get them in a relationship, get them away from the other kids, doing that thing that they love to do. You can be proactive as a way of helping discipline that child. If you do have any questions, though, about how to handle a particular situation or a specific child, please let us know. I guarantee you there are situations and kids' backgrounds that you're not aware of. Kids that have undiagnosed special needs, kids that have trauma going on at home, kids that are being bounced back and forth between two homes, one of which is a believing family, one of which is not. There are all kinds of scenarios that you may not realize are happening. So when you have that troublesome child or you have that scenario that you don't know what to do, please reach out, let us know, let us help you. I don't know if you've ever had this happen, but sometimes you're working with kids and there's a certain kid that just drives you nuts. That's happened to me many times. When I can tell inside that I'm getting angry or frustrated at a situation or a specific individual, that is a check in my spirit that I need to step back because something's off with me. And I may not be able to see what that is in that moment, but that's a great time to call for help. When you feel yourself getting upset, angry, frustrated internally, call for a coach. Ask for a coach to come on in and assess the situation. They might see something that you don't. They might try something. Their personality might just work a little differently than yours. It's okay. That's why a coach is there. That's why our staff are there, to help you with your situation. So if you need help with a child, oftentimes our coach can work with your kids one-on-one. Our coach can come into the situation and maybe give you some tips on something that might be useful for your scenario. What we don't want you to do is to say, oh, this kid's driving me nuts, I'm gonna call their parents. Rip that sticker off, text that parent, come pick up your kid right away, they're being bad. No, that is not at all conveying that we love this child, that we love this family. So if you feel that a child needs to be picked up by their parent, run that through your coach. Let the coach come in and see the situation. Let them assess what's really going on here. And yeah, if we need to call for a parent pickup, we will totally do that. But we want to run those through our coach and through our staff. So again, if you have a concern about a child, maybe the child's running out of the room or something where you feel like this is not safe, I can't handle this, I don't know what to do, that's okay. Call a coach, let us come and help you. And yeah, if we need to get the child to come pick up, we will definitely do that. Being on the kids team is super rewarding, and it is a great chance to show God's love to kids. But it can be emotionally taxing, it can be tiring at times. We all go through those seasons of passion and excitement, and then seasons where we're like, why am I doing this? This isn't even making a difference. While you're on the kids team, we want to encourage you to do the very best in reflecting God's love on days when you're tired, on days where you're frustrated, on days where you're just not feeling it. It's okay. We all go through those, but we want to show those kids that God loves them. And so every time that you come in and you put on a lanyard or you wear that kid's shirt, recognize you are reflecting God to kids. It's a very important responsibility, and I hope that'll be one of those things that motivates you in your spiritual journey to be a better you, to grow in your faith, to become more Christ-like, because you are the picture of Jesus to kids who are looking up at you. Thanks so much for being part of our kids team. We truly could not reach 1,000 people each week without you being a part of it. So thank you for serving, for reflecting Jesus, and I look forward to seeing you again next time you're serving. We'll see you then.